a few other little bits and pieces in the movie that we wrote. So, you know, all together it worked pretty well. And then we had a movie called Wonderful Life. And what did we have from that? I'm trying to think. We had
On the Beach.
On the Beach, yeah, that was a hit from that. And
On the Beach.
And then Finders Keepers. We got an Ivor Novello Award for a song called Time Drags By that we did as an ensemble song with Cliff, obviously taking lead, but lots of harmonies. And on that song, when we recorded, here's a little bit of info. When we did this song, we felt it needed a kind of bluesy harmonica, and we asked our engineer if he knew of anyone who could come in at short notice to Abbey Road, and he rang around, and this guy, we knew him by the way, turned up with a bag full of harmonicas. And this guy's normally known as a guitarist, but he played great harmonica on this guy called Jimmy Page.
Yeah. He's done quite well since.
He's done well, yeah.
You know, you're talking about 1963. This is nearly 5 years we'd been going before the Beatles arrived.
I don't know about you, Bruce, but I'd always felt that the bubble at some point would burst instrumentally, particularly with singles. It usually does for any artist, and I know there are some notable exceptions who've just continued to have hit after hit. So when that came on the scene, I found it exciting, the music they were making and the sound they were making. I liked the quality of the songs, the rawness of the production, and because I felt that pop music was getting very sweet. It was following the American movement, and we were doing it really ourselves. And the hardness that used to be in our music was beginning to drift away, if it hadn't already. So they came along with this new hardness, getting back to the roots of rock and roll. Exciting. But funnily enough, that year, Bruce, was one of our biggest years for single sales. Elvis was the biggest record seller in the world that year. No, Cliff was. Sorry, Cliff. Elvis second, and we were third. Yeah. That was pretty good. So we had 2 number ones or 3 number ones that year, number twos, a couple of number twos. Big year and big album and everything. So, but we could see the writing on the wall that this new trend was going to get bigger. And it did, didn't it? All the new groups came on the scene.
Most of the groups used to meet, whether it was TV shows or Top of the Pops, whatever it was, or the famous, more likely, the Blue Boar on the M1 at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
we actually went to see them at one of those Granadas, Tooting, wherever it was. They were third on the bill. Tommy Rowe, Chris Montez, and the Beatles. It's half empty, no screams. Yeah. And they were great. I thought they were great. It sounded good, it was exciting, and they had a bit of that humour in their act, and people laughed at it. And we went up to see them afterwards, and we walked up the stairs, and John was leaning back with his glasses on, and he whipped them off straight away, because they were very similar to the ones I used to wear in those days, and it just made me smile. Someone said later on that he hates people. Sometimes people say, "You look like Hank Marvin," and he hates it, and he takes his glasses off, you see. And we had a great chat with them. And was it that night we went to your place?
Yeah, the party. I had a party at my place, yeah. They all came back,
Yeah, and we got the guitars out, a lot of fun. And
we knew they were going to be enormous. I mean, it was obvious they were going to be enormous. Love Me Do, and then Please Please Me.
We were in Abbey Road once, and Paul came in and said, I've got a little tune you might like. Can I play it? We said, yeah. And he sat at the piano, and he went, down, down, da 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 dee 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 dee, and so on. We said, oh, it's lovely. He said, look, I tell you what, can I put it on a cassette and send it in to you? We said, yeah. Right. That was the end of the story. We never heard from him again. And the next Beatles album came out, and it was on there as a song here, there, and everywhere.